I don't think any of my buyers are like that. I mean, I was showing at 2:00 in the afternoon. I was showing it. So, you know, depending on the flexibility of your schedule is going to dictate what type of buyers that you're able to assist. And as a buyer, you have to understand that about your agent.
View what the bosses view. You gotta sacrifice. You wanna move like bosses move.
YMA, Young Millionaires Association.
All right, guys, welcome to the YMA Nation podcast, episode number 63.
63.
I am Joe Wallace, and this is
Rebecca Wallace.
And it is Real Estate Wednesday. It is your show today.
Woo, woo.
You are excited?
I am excited.
Think you got a good topic today, right?
I do.
All right, guys. If you're on right now, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Subscribe, guys.
You heard her. Subscribe.
It takes like 3 seconds.
It really does take 3 seconds. Go ahead and click the subscribe button and click the little thumbs up. Go ahead and do it. Click the little thumbs up. Look at that. 5 seconds and you got both done.
Yep.
That quick. Hashtag YMANATION down in the comment section. You know, we always come up with some type of drawing for you guys. So hashtag YMANATION down into the comment section. And Miss Rebecca, what are we talking about today?
So we are going to be talking about work-life balance from a realtor.
Work-life balance from a realtor. From a realtor.
Oh,
from a real estate agent. Yes, let's get into it. I'm excited to hear this. So is this going to be based on your personal experiences?
It is. So last week we were talking about making money, right?
Right.
And so everybody liked the topic about making money. And
let me jump in real quick. That took off. Like the first 8 hours, it ranked number 1 on the podcast.
Well, people like making money, you know?
I want to change like all the topics to like, it's just going to say making money.
Making money.
Hey,
making money.
Make more money.
Making more money.
Making more money. Make super duper money. We just going to think of topics just talking about making money.
Super duper money.
The podcast booming.
So, yeah, we appreciate all of the watches and everybody tuning in. And so we're going to talk about what it takes to make that money. So we could talk about making money, and everybody, it sounds real easy when you talk about it, right?
Right.
But a lot of people don't understand how to balance making money with their personal life, because you have business and you have personal life. So I wanted to talk based on my experiences as a real estate agent, because I could tell y'all I've been in my car for the last 7 days driving for hours showing buyers houses, right? So we eat out a lot, y'all. But
we do. I still stay in shape though.
Yeah, I mean, I try to do like healthy eating out sometimes, like salads and
big crab boiled last night. Really?
Yeah, the other night. But anyhow, you have to have a balance, but you also have to understand that making money takes time. So how do you come to that balance where you want to make money and you know that making money takes time, more time than just working a 9 to 5? I can tell you that. So I have some tidbits, and Joe's going to help me, Mr. Entrepreneur Specialist over here, and give his thoughts on how I see how to balance those things. So the first thing I said is make yourself a schedule.
Right.
So, and stick to it. I should say make a schedule and stick to the schedule.
Oh no, that'd be hard sometimes.
That's hard. As a realtor, that is hard, because I could tell you how many times if I like shot you a text and I'm like, we're going to see another house, or, you know, so I've blocked out this much time to show houses, but now we're going to go see 2 or 3 more houses. That adds time because you have travel time. You got to walk through the property. They're going to have questions. You got to look up information.
It may be like a property like in the same subdivision, and they're like, can we go see that one? And
right. Or it could be 20 minutes away.
Or 20 minutes, 30 minutes away.
Yeah. So a lot of times it's hard to stick to a schedule, but you try. You try to make adjustments or, just communicate with people. Like, I know Wednesdays are my really tight days, right? And that's really hard for me to book a lot of things on Wednesdays because we have so much going on Wednesdays.
Right.
So I say, hey, I try to be as flexible as I can, like during the other days, but Wednesday I can't, I'm limited as to what I can do on Wednesday, right? So it's all about the communication part of it. So number 2 is prioritize your clients. Now I'm talking from a realtor perspective because a lot of times agents do things different, right? So you spend a lot of time on people that aren't ready to buy. And it's kind of like you're spinning your wheels. So you want to make sure that you're allocating your time to the right people. Now, that doesn't mean you can't pick up the phone and communicate and just do follow-ups with people, but you're not going to go show someone who's not pre-approved, 5 or 6 or 7 houses because now you're wasting your time.
I think that's good too for like the potential home buyers that's out there or like seeing a podcast right now to understand so they don't think that, the agent don't want to work with me. And now hearing it, like, you got to have a pre-approval, right? It's like going to a car lot and they say, do you got a down payment? And you go, well, I don't have a down payment and I got a 480 score, but you want the person on the lot to show you like all the cars. Like they're going to show you all the cars and you can't do anything, right? Because you got like no credit, no down payment, so there's no
And you want to build rapport. So they may have a conversation with you. They may show you 1 or 2 cars. We may send you a couple of houses just so you can see what the market is like. But until you're ready, that agent may have 10 people in front of you that have pre-approvals.
Right.
There's one agent and like 10 or 15 of you. That means that agent's going to dedicate that time to those 10 pre-approved people.
Prioritize.
And then once you get to that next level, guess what? Then you become
that pool.
Right. You become priority. So I thought that was important to have on there because I do want people on the other side to understand, from a realtor perspective, most of the time, like the way I operate, I always want to communicate and get back with you as quickly as I can. But sometimes there's only 24 hours in a day. So, sometimes your time gets limited as to who you can communicate with in a period of time.
Right.
3, have a shut off time. See? Mm-hmm. I really wanted his input on this.
We're talking about real estate, so let's keep the camera like focused on her. We're talking about real estate right now. I don't have a shut off time.
Well, I say a shut off time, not meaning a time that you stop working. See, you took it the wrong way, and I wanted your
let's see what my
reaction was. See, I be testing him, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But what I mean is, at some point in time, for you to operate and function and to be able to communicate with everyone and get everyone what they need, you have to cut off a communication time. So like, I'm not going to answer calls and text after 7 or 8 because between 8 and 10, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my emails and I may start responding to people who have emailed me. I'm going to look for houses that my pre-approved people have, they want a house that's 3-bedroom, 2-bath. They want a half-acre lot. They want to be in this district. It takes time looking for specific outlines of properties like that.
Right.
So it's not that I stopped working. It's that I stopped talking to people so that I can,
right, so you can focus.
I can focus on getting these people a house or finding people houses. Yeah. So it's not really like, oh, I'm shutting down, I'm not doing anything for the rest of the night. It's just having that shutdown time to where, and some agents do. And they'll even tell you on their voicemail, if it's after 7, I'll call you back tomorrow. You know, it just, you create that, just that line of communication with clients so they know what to expect.
You got that advice too. I remember when you first started was on Sundays. I don't work on Sundays. You remember that conversation that you had? And she was like, I don't work on Sundays. On Sunday is my family day. Right.
So, right. Yeah. And that goes to my next one is block out family time, because, you know, family is important, and spending time, like we have teenagers, so they're getting older, and, you know,
the time when you got to keep your eyes on them, right?
Well, you got to keep your eyes on them, and the time's limited, right, because they're going to be maturing and going their way and making their decisions in life. Right. And so you just want to make sure that while you're making money, you're able to enjoy some of it too. Right. And enjoy some of that time.
I think that's important too, because like that age is really when you get molded. Like you going through like the stages where you learning, you trying, you experimenting things, making mistakes, and you try. But if you got like an adult there, a parent there to help guide you, like especially if there's an open line of communication with the kids, and the kids feel comfortable because you built that type of, because you're spending time with them, right? So they feel comfortable to come to you and like, well, you know, or I'm struggling in this class, and I don't know, like any type of conversation, like building the rapport with your children, because like those key things of advice could be that one thing that prevent them from doing like that one thing that may change the trajectory of their life forever.
Right, right. And I thought it was interesting because on Wealth Building Monday, you had wonderful guests on with you. Right. Y'all need to go watch that show. That was great if you haven't seen it. And
episode number 62.
62.
62.
And they were talking about, I think he was talking about his wife and everything that she did, like taking care of the kids, cooking, cleaning, making sure they got to school, making sure their homework was done.
It's a lot on a woman, right?
On top of, you know,
being a wife,
taking care of him, making sure he's fed.
Being an
entrepreneur, making the businesses run, staying on top of everything.
It's a lot,
yeah. So you have to have that time, like at some point. And this is leading into my next point. You have to have self-time.
Right. And they said that too. And this is a millionaire couple, episode 62, a millionaire couple. Like, yeah, they work. He said he go 1,000%. He give 1,000%. But then they came back after that and say, but we always make time. We travel as a family.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. And I think that it's important to have self-time where you're able to kind of reflect and take a step back, because sometimes when you're in business, especially real estate, you get so involved with other people's lives, with your clients. I mean, we might as well be therapists half the time, seriously, because you're not just there helping people buy a house. You're engaged in their life at this point, right? So anything they got going on, some people tell me their whole life story. You know,
have to be there to listen and try to give like positive guidance.
Right. So it's important that that gets overwhelming in itself because you're constantly having to process other people's trials and tribulations. And especially in this market, when you have a lot of buyers, it becomes frustrating to them. You know, well, I put an offer on this house. We're about to offer on this house. Well, there's 3 offers on the table, so we have to offer this way. Or, you know, we lost the offer. You know, we lost the bid on the house. We got to start all over looking again.
Right.
Those conversations in and of itself are exhausting.
Right.
So you have to take that self-time sometimes, you know, where you just kind of digress and let everything kind of woosah away. Woosah away.
We should have a session at the end of the show, like at the end of every show, just the woosah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
But it is very important. And I know y'all are like, well, what does all of this have to do with making money, right? Me going through the process of, you know, everything that we're doing for self. Well, everything that we do for self, I told y'all last week that you get from real estate what you put into real estate.
That's right.
And I think that's for most businesses.
Most businesses, that's right.
That's right. You're out here and you have to give that 1,000%. You have to really dedicate yourself, your time. You know, you have 5 clients looking for 5 different things, and you're trying to process. You have to put a lot of your energy goes into that, right? So it takes that amount of energy to make that type of money. You know,
right?
It takes that amount of effort to be successful in it. And some agents, you know, they have their theory of I'm gonna work normal hours. I'm gonna work 9 to 6. If the client can't conform to that, you know, I won't. This is what my hours are.
I think it goes back to your point that you just said, though. Like, you get out of it what you put into it. And I think it depends on the individual. Like, what makes that person happy? Mm-hmm. Some people may be comfortable. If I could close on one house a month, one house per month, and I could pay my bills, mm-hmm. I'm comfortable.
Right.
Right. But what happens when that month come and you don't have a reserve because, you know me, or you know, our team, we try to like reach for the stars.
Right.
So, but if you're comfortable, I tell even entrepreneurs, they come in and we talk about their goals, like what's going to make you happy.
Right.
You know, so if you're not the person that's going to like push beyond like the norm, then that's fine. But just don't be in it where your business is going to suffer or you're not going to be successful because of your own effort.
Right. And
I started off checking it every other week, just like most people do. Then it got out of control. I couldn't help myself. I started checking it day after day after day. I didn't realize that I was becoming addicted until my wife said something.
What did she say?
She said, "It's just a credit score, relax."
Are you checking your credit score?
Huh? Hold on.
I think that's important too. In real estate, you have to understand what you're getting into if you want to become a realtor. You can't just say, "Oh, well, I want to be a real estate agent." Okay, go be a real estate agent. But if you don't have a pipeline, like we discuss our businesses and all of the time, but if you don't have a streamline, a pipeline of people coming in, you got to work even harder to go find people that want to buy a house or sell a house.
Right.
You got to do like triple the work if you don't have a pipeline.
And that's okay. So what she's saying is that put forth the work. If your
Right.
goals, if you see someone, you're like, man, I think I would love to do that. I know I could do it. I got a passion for helping people. Get into something that you love, because if you're going to do it, this is my opinion, because you know, YMA Financial is all about entrepreneurship. If you're going to do it where, well, I don't know. Let me be careful with that, because it's okay to work a job and say I'll do it as a part-time, because a lot of people do. They got a full-time job and work it as part-time. I'm all about replacing your income and you be your own boss.
I think that when it comes to that, it depends on the individual.
And that's what I just said 3 minutes ago. Yeah.
It depends on the individual if you look at it. And it depends on how it balances their life out.
And that's
the topic.
That's a topic.
Right. So if you say, well, I work full time, I can show houses on nights and weekends, that means that you're conforming your clientele base to people that are going to be on that schedule.
Right.
Right. You're limiting yourself to those types of individuals.
Right.
Because I could tell you right now, I don't think any of my buyers are like that. I mean, I was showing at 2:00 in the afternoon. I was showing it. So, you know, depending on the flexibility of your schedule is going to dictate what type of buyers that you're able to assist. And as a buyer, you have to understand that about your agent. That's where the communication is very, very important. So if you're wanting to become a buyer, these are conversations that you want to have with your agent. See, my phone's ringing. I got a deal I'm working on right now. You have to really talk to your agent about, well, what is your schedule? What are good times to communicate with you? My schedule is I work third shift, so I don't want to communicate in the morning. I don't want you to call me in the morning. Call me later in the afternoon.
Anytime after 1.
Anytime after 1.
Yeah.
You have to communicate these things to the agent to see if your schedules are going to be one that fit. Because I think sometimes buyers get frustrated with their agent because that communication hasn't been had. Like, there was never that level of expectation set when the initial meeting happened. And so their schedules may be off, or they're just not understanding what the agent is not understanding what the buyer wants, or the buyer feels like the agent doesn't understand what they want. But instead of the buyer communicating that to the agent, they just try a different path
and try to make it work.
To make it work.
This is important too for both sides, for the buyers and the agents. When you meet, make sure that there's like things complement. Like, make sure that, hey, I want to get this house. My work schedule is this. Da, da, da.
Right.
Will
Very
you be
important.
able to work around my schedule? Because the agent works for that person, right? Once they sign that thing, like the agent work, like that's your client.
And so back to the work-life balance. It's also good to communicate with your family your schedule and help them to understand. Like, I communicate with my kids all of the time. I'm like, I got to work. I have to accommodate my schedule or move my schedule to accommodate my clients. That's where you try to book that time, that family time, so that they understand, hey, this is my family time. And we try not to work during that time, but again, as an agent, you're going to be taking calls. There may be things that have to be handled because a lot of real estate transactions are timely. Like, if you don't get things done by the date that it says in that contract, then you could really hurt your client. So a lot of things are just so time sensitive in real estate that you may have to dip into family time to take care of it or something like that. But it's just important if you're communicating that with your family and you're communicating that with your kids and helping them to understand, hey, I got this going on and I got to get it done. And this is how we're building success. And your kids see that you're giving 110% to what you're doing, then they want to strive to give 110% to what they're doing.
I agree. She's waiting for me to jump in on it. I was looking at the time, but yeah, I do agree. When as a child, I think you see that in Kay, right? Like Kay is, and both of them, like Brianna with her grades, how she's improved her grades because she see like what the expectations are. The expectations are up here.
Michaela,
oh, well, she's a whole different another beast, right? When it comes to work, but I mean, yeah, when you set the bar high for your children see it, right, and they try to emulate you. They're like, wow, like they really focus on excellence, and they put the work in behind it. So when they see that, then they try to emulate it.
Yeah, and I think that as a realtor, there have been times where, like, if I have to go to a showing after Kay gets out of practice, he's riding with me. Mm-hmm. Like, you're just riding to this showing, but he's able to see, like, what I do and
being able to adapt and adjust to the situations. Yeah.
Right. Because he sees, hey, this is the time I got to go, but I'm also taking care of you and making sure you're getting what you need and what you have to get done as well.
That's right.
So he has training on Saturdays and Sundays. Sometimes after those trainings, I got showings. I have things that I have to do as well. So that's how you kind of balance your work and your life. Sometimes they're going to intertwine. It's not that I have to have work and then I have to have a life. It's learning how to say I can work and have a life simultaneously. I think that's what my thoughts are.
I agree with you 1,000%.
So we're going to wrap it up.
You done?
Yeah.
Man, that went quick. Yeah. You don't got any other good advice to tell these people about balancing as a real estate agent?
I gave them a lot today.
Yes.
They got a lot.
Shout out to Rebecca. Real Estate Wednesday. All you potential agents, or even if you're an agent right now, that's good information, right? Like, wow, I really need to, I probably need to communicate better. I need to spend some more time with my children and a lot of good information. Right. If you guys are on, if you watch the show and you're hearing it, I mean, you watch the show to the end, make sure you go down in the comment section, hashtag YMANATION, YMANATION. Like, comment, and subscribe. And if you got any questions, drop your questions down. We had a lot of good feedback on, like, people started to get more engaged. Yeah. They put in comments. And people are talking to each other. Yeah. People talking to each other in the comment section. So, yeah, very good communication. Everybody's respectful too.
YMANATION family.
YMANATION family. We will see you guys on Friday for Friday football.
You gotta sacrifice. You wanna move like bosses move.
YMA, Young Millionaires Association. Yeah, see, that's the association.